requirements going up? Is the economic solvency amount this?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to our channel, Why Not Now? My name is Steven and this is my beautiful wife, Lisa Marie. And if you are new to our channel, we have been living in Mexico for almost a year and a half now. We have our temporary residency down here and we started out in Santiago de Queretaro. So be sure to check out our videos in Santiago de Queretaro. We've done everything over there from cost of living to apartment tours to neighborhood tours, bed expenses, and so on and so on. And then we also decided to move down to Oaxaca and give that a shot. That didn't really work out for us. And we checked out, we bounced around the Mazatlan, and now we are at our new home base in Aguascalientes.
And we're staying.
And we plan on staying, yep. So baby, what are we talking about today?
So as you can see, we are in a park. We're actually in Juan Pablo, is it, babe? Juan Pablo, the second park, also I think known as El Dorado Park here in Aguascalientes. We will show you a bit around this park in a moment, but really we wanted to talk to you all about, there's been a lot of panic lately. I've been getting it through comments, questions, concerns about what's going on with the 180-day tourist visa. Why is the pricing for the Mexico residency? Why are the requirements and the criteria for the financial requirements going up? And there's been a lot of panic, and I think it's our responsibility. We are on this platform to share our thoughts, and really I hope that this can be some sort of a comfort, some sort of a solace to you all. Yeah, because honestly, although those things are true, yes, as is Mexico now, we used to get a default 180 days to come here, to see the country, to visit, decide if we liked it or not, explore it, the culture, learn about whatever we wanted to learn about. By default, we'd get those 180 days, whether you're a U.S. citizen or a Canadian and some other foreigners as well. And now there's limitations, right? And we've been hearing through people that we know, and this applies to, I kid you not, all age groups. It doesn't matter what you look like. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you have money, if you don't have money. It's happening to everybody. Yeah. And I know, even an older couple that, they're fluent in Spanish. They have roots, Mexican roots. They have, roots, Hispanic roots, and they're having issues even being able to come in and out and get the 180 days. So it's just kind of what's happening right now. My husband and I were doing some talking over dinner, and we were kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, what we thought about why this could be happening. And I just want to be clear in that, Mexico has always had the ability to do this. This is nothing new, okay? If you think you're just used to getting the 180 days by default, and I understand that we all were used to that, right? I mean, we have our temporary residency. It's different in our case now, but that's what it was, right? And now they're limiting. Well, we have to think about this. What could be causing this? There is a huge influx now of extranjeros, yes. People from the United States, people from Canada that are flocking. I mean, we're going through a lot right now in this day and age. We all know we have situations, but I'm not going to get into it. But with the pandemic and everything, and people, for whatever reason, I don't. You'll see in the comments, I don't do the whole politics thing. I don't like people attack. I don't care about politics. Whatever you. I don't identify with any particular party. Yeah. Never have. I go for what's right. I do my research. I don't like to do the click thing, okay? Yeah. So that's not what I'm saying. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, as long as they express it respectfully and are not attacking other people. But people are coming here to Mexico and to other places for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into those details. And there's an influx. And if you think the Mexican government doesn't notice that, well, surprise, surprise,
yeah,
because they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, add on top of that, you have, in addition to that, you have people that have been doing border runs for years, for decades, to live in Mexico. They just go in and out, in and out, in and out. And some of your favorite big YouTubers who are creating a lot of this panic, I'm sorry to say this to you, don't even have their residency.
Nope. Okay?
So be wise who you listen to, who you allow to ruffle your feathers, because, there's people that are trying to get personal gain out of it, okay?
Yeah.
So you have to be wise. You need to ask people, do you have your personal residency?
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
There are also people out there, I'm going to put in a plug. I've never met Backpacking Brunette, but she was actually the original person living down in Querétaro. For those of you who know who I'm talking about, let her know that we think she's doing a great job. We didn't have the opportunity to meet her when we were living in Querétaro, but she's always been great at doing what she does, which is she gives informative content. She gives things in a very concise way, and we've always respected and loved that about her. She's giving you honest information. Yeah. She's telling you, hey, things vary from place to place. Everything she's saying is legit, but you have to. And there are some other YouTubers, I'm not going to get into a list, that are also they're doing their best to give you information as it changes. Things are always changing and day by day. But there are a small handful that you have to be careful. They are spreading panic. They are causing hype, and a lot of people watch these guys, and it's really concerning. And I'm not gonna sit here and go ahead and feed that. Could we all jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, this is a hot topic now, so let's go ahead and increase the hype and the panic and get views? Sure, but we're not gonna do that. We're here to tell you this. Yes, these things are happening, things are increasing, but do not react and panic, okay? Yeah. If you really want to make Mexico your home, okay, things are changing in every aspect of this world. Yeah, all the time. And we have no control over it, and I know that can make anybody anxious. Yeah. We have our own concerns about Mexico in the future. Like, will we be able to stay here? Because we're not pensioners.
Nope.
And we just did our renewal video. For those of you who know, I did a 2-part how to obtain your residency. I'll pin that below. And I also recently did how to renew. I showed you everything from the forms you need to complete. I gave you tips. I show you the websites, what to click on, everything, and for free. Okay, so we would appreciate, for those of you who are supporting us, who appreciate that we're giving you truthful and valuable content, to give us a like. That's the simplest, basic way you can support us. You know that you also can check the pinned comment and the description for how you can support us financially, whether it's one time or coming back on a regular basis to contribute to the channel. I say contribute because we are giving you free resources, from neighborhood tours. We're showing you things. We're not just here as tourists. We're showing you the good, the in between, the bad, the ugly. We're not using the platform to exploit the cities. We're telling you, hey, come here, educate yourself on the pricing, don't overpay. We're giving you those resources for free. So that's how you can support us. Because you know what? I hate to say it. It could be a year down the road, and then you might say, oh my goodness, why not now? What happened? They're not making videos anymore. Why not now decided to go ahead and live in Mexico or live somewhere else in another country and just get a regular job, because that was more profitable for us and less stressful, than doing this, because people like to support the fantasy rather than the reality, and people who are really grinding it out and giving them true content. Because let's be honest, if we don't give the likes, the people who are getting those likes, they're getting pushed to the forefront. And what you don't know is that there's so many other YouTubers that are giving great content, even smaller channels, smaller than even us, but they're not going to get pushed to the forefront, and you're never going to see that great information, because the ones that are just up there in the front all the time, it's not that they're great, it's just that they're larger, they're getting the likes. So sorry guys, the camera overheated because it feels like it's about 90 right now. But it's a beautiful day in the shade.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I want to finish my thought. So these other channels that you see that are always in the forefront, right? If I learned this, when I started doing YouTube. In the beginning, I didn't know. I used to always say, why are the same people coming up? I would search certain topics, It's because you have situations where larger channels, more likes because of the size of the channel, they automatically get pushed to the forefront. It has nothing to do with if they're a good channel or they're giving you good content or they're, whatever the case is. It's just because of the size, they're getting pushed to the front, the likes, okay? Number one. Number two, there are people who pay. They can pay companies to go ahead and add comments in their YouTube thing, do likes, all these ridiculous things. Honestly, they get pushed to the forefront. You don't even know that. So we're giving you some inside tips, okay? Some people on YouTube are going to be mad at me, but this is what goes on. So I say all this to say, people have asked us, hey, and a viewer said, do you guys plan to stay in Mexico forever? I want to see a video on that. So I'm going to share some thoughts in a little bit about that. Because, as I mentioned, we don't have a pension. We have our own concerns, but we're not going to allow the panic and, all this hype to make us act irrationally. We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to research for ourselves. Use YouTube videos as a resource, of course, but you have to always do your own research and have your own experience. You know that we tell you this all the time. Even if you're watching us, do your own research. Bottom line.
Yeah, and like my wife was saying,
oh, we have a visitor.
It's a lot of panic and everything.
Hold on one second. We have a visitor. Hello, sweetheart.
It's a big boy right there.
What you doing? Okay.
All right. So like my wife was saying, it's like a panic, and these other channels are making this panic. But the channels, a handful of those channels that are pushing that, they don't even have their residency. So it's to the point that they're the ones doing the visa runs, who I think that could cause a problem or has caused a problem, because Panama, they changed from 180 days to 90 days in September. I think it was September in 2021. And think about how many expats are down there in how many expats are down there in Panama.
Hi, hello. You want to be on YouTube? Hello.
Like a little wolf right there.
He's a beauty.
But yeah, Panama changed over from 180 days to 90 days. So it's kind of, I don't know if Mexico following suit, but nobody knows. And you don't listen to people when they tell you, oh, look like you're a business class person wearing a suit, or don't look like a backpacker, a broke backpacker. That's BS. Because I know somebody down in Queretaro, he wears a baseball cap, t-shirt, and some basketball shorts, and he came in, he got like 140 days, for the simple fact that he has he was renting something until March. So he was able to get in for his whole amount of days almost. So don't listen to that. Nobody really knows what's going on. So that's just how I look at it. There's more I can talk about, but
and then we also know an older couple that they actually have roots in Mexico. Their family, I mean, their roots are from Mexico and other Spanish countries, and they speak fluent in the language. Older couple, well-to-do, and they're not getting the full 180 days.
Yeah,
and they were renting.
And he dressed in, and they dress up
in suits,
and she dressed up.
So there's no. It doesn't matter, things happen. There's no, don't listen to all that hype. Please don't do that. Don't stress yourself out like that.
Yeah. All right, let's just walk around now.
It's a hot one.
Yeah, it is.
So we're in we're in Juan Pablo II Parque.
Yeah, over El Dorado.
El Dorado, sí. And it has a nice little walking path, as you can see. Someone had asked us in the comments, is Aguascalientes a green city? And it all depends on what your interpretation of a green city is, because some people look at it from a waste perspective. Is it environmentally friendly? Recycling. Some people look at it is it just for the green space and parks? Some people look at it as a whole. You're going to get areas that have more green parks. And of course, if you go out more to the suburbs, like over here, be north, just like in Querétaro, you have some nice, beautiful green parks, but it's not considered a green city in air quotations, right?
No, it's not.
But you're going to find some beautiful parks. It just depends on where you go, or where you live, I should say. This area is about a 35. So we walked up over an hour to get here, but from Centro, more or less, babe, it was about 35 minutes.
35 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a walk. It's a walk. But yeah, we're learning the city as we go every day, getting out, walking around. And so we're going to share more of that with you. We'll be more knowledgeable about certain neighborhoods and things like that further on of us being here.
Yeah, we how we do. We walk around and we explore. It takes long time. It takes time to get to know everything, and we share as we learn with you all as usual. Those of you who have watched our neighborhood tours and Querétaro playlist, you know how we do. I also wanted to address another viewer's comments, because he actually wanted a separate video on this. Maybe in the future we will, as we gather more information, but right now I'll answer it quickly. He said, do you all plan to stay in Mexico? And I thought it was kind of fitting based on what we were just talking about, all these, new, we'll call them challenges, air quotations, challenges of everything keeps going up as far as what the requirements is to have your residency in Mexico. What will our next renewal process look like? We just did a renewal video for you. I'll link that below again. But what will it look like if we renew the end of this year? What are we going to do? Are we going to plan to stay in Mexico for 2 more years, another year? I don't know right now.
Yeah.
Do we plan on traveling to other countries? Absolutely. Our preference would have been, and I'll let my husband share this part, what our preference would have been as far as, how to travel and whatnot.
Yeah, our preference, I guess this is what she's talking about. First off, this lady over here feeding the pigeons right there.
Cute.
I guess what you mean about preference, I'm the type of person I would prefer to have a home base. Is that what you were talking about? Like having a
it's not just him. We prefer, because after we did some traveling, we went to Oaxaca City and Mazatlan. I told him, I said it wore me out. And our dogs, we travel with 2 little dogs, for those of you who know, and it wore them out. They don't like it. Yeah. We prefer to have a home base and then just travel around that way, instead of just bouncing up, going to city to city to city. Like that. That's not us. In different Airbnbs or different apartments, and you don't know if people were a smoker previously, and then I have asthma, I can't breathe in the apartment, or it's old or has mold. I don't like that. I like to find a comfy place. Exactly. Yeah. But I don't know, man. We've been looking at all type of places, though. Like, of course, we love Mexico. We love everything about Mexico. But we have been looking at other countries, which we're not going to name right now.
No, we're not going to name them. But we've been looking at other places to go and check out. Speaking of checking something out, check this out, guys. You can find that all over here in Aguascalientes. I think I mentioned where we were staying right now, Aguascalientes.
Yes, in El Dorado right now we are.
Yeah, we're over in El Dorado. But it's a nice little park over here. And you can find all type of churches. They have all type of churches over here in Aguascalientes. But yeah, we prefer to have a home base, a nice home base, and just travel around. And that way it's more comforting. To me, it becomes more comfortable. Yeah, and we don't know. We don't know what the residency requirements are going to be. Like we told you, we don't have a pension coming in. We'll have to evaluate as we go, and that's what we're telling you. Don't panic. I mean, we're not saying it to you like, okay, we have a residency, we're good. We have the same concerns. We're not pensioners. We don't receive Social Security, obviously. So we are trying to figure it out as we go as well. So we have to reevaluate, reassess our situation every so often. We would love to remain here in Mexico and be here long term for many years to come, and then do other traveling to other countries. But we'll have to see. We're going to be in Aguascalientes for a minimum of a year. That is a fact. We'll be here, and then we'll reassess and see what Mexico is trying to do here. What these new changes are, and we'll go from there. And as always, we'll take you along for the journey. God willing, we're still able to continue doing YouTube and bringing you truthful, valuable, motivational content. We'll bring that to you. Correct. And everybody know our channel. Our channel is all about affordability too. We're not about coming over here and saying everything is cheap and everything is not that expensive. We're over here about living like the locals, living within the culture, like getting in the culture. We all about learning Spanish. We all about just embracing what's going on over here. Don't come over here trying to change it into what you would like it to be. That's why we actually was bouncing around, because we realized in some of the cities that we were going to in Mexico, they were too it was too touristy. It was too English. You hear English on every corner. You smelling hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza, and that's nothing towards, like, I know people in Mexico. A friend of mine in Querétaro said, we love to eat chicken wings too. That's cool. Mean. That's not what we mean though. I mean that, like, over here in this city, I can go get a gordita. I can go get a quesadilla, elotes, menudo. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I had a cart. I had something the other day, was last night, a gordita, famous Michoacan gordita, something. It was a chicharron. That was delicious, man. It was like 10 pesos, 10 or 15 pesos. 15, And that's what we're talking about. You know, we're talking about that type of affordability, not the, oh, it's so cheap. Like, you're gonna rarely hear us say that everything is so cheap.
We don't
we're gonna say it's
we
affordable.
always joke with our viewers. I say don't use the C word.
Yeah.
Don't use the C word, because you have to compare, you know, where you're living based on the salaries of the
Exactly.
people that are here. And I don't know if you mentioned this in another video, I can't remember, but you were even talking about, you were looking at the website for the minimum wage.
Oh yeah, the minimum wage.
This is one of the also the reasons why some of the financial requirements are going up.
Exactly. In 2022, they're saying that the minimum wage over here in Mexico has gone up 23%. This was on the Atlanta website, Atlanta Mexican Consulate website. It was saying it was around 172.87, 173, and that's daily. That's not even $10 a day.
Yeah.
So if you work for them,
yeah,
you don't get all the benefits.
Yeah.
You get paid 200 pesos a day.
Wow.
And they exploit you 8 to 10 hours a day.
That is very sad.
So,
and if you look at those requirements to be approved for the temporary residency for economic solvency, you have to make times 5,000 times. So you have to take that number, convert it to USD, and then take that and times it by 5,000 days, and that's what you have to be able to come to this country for the year.
yeah, that's a lot.
To stay. Okay, so the more we keep, you know, acting like everything's so cheap, and the more we say that, and the more we come to the country and we don't do our research based on the market, based on the city, the country you're living in, that way you're not overpaying. You're gonna get a little foreigner tax, that's normal. But if you just come here and say everything's so cheap and you start paying these ridiculous rents, guess what's gonna happen? What's happening right now? The government's gonna say, well, it's cheap for them. You know, hey, they're paying it, or they have no problem. They're gonna just keep raising things, and there's gonna always be this huge disparity between how the locals are living. The locals can't live in the nice areas; they're getting pushed out. The people who come here for affordability, it's too expensive, and then it just doesn't add up. It does not line up. I'm sorry, I say this all the time.
And it's the same thing that's happening in the United States.
Exactly.
It's happening in Ecuador. It's happening in Panama. Happening in Portugal, Costa Rica,
everywhere,
all over the place. So that's why we say, guys, do your research. Please do your research and fit in. Don't go there and just be like $1,000 nothing or whatever. So
for a rent, yeah.
That's
because at the end of the day, guess what's going to happen? We're going to be like a bunch of little rats just running from one place to the other, escaping, and you're going to live your whole life like that, because that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So we can't make we can minimize we can be responsible, and we can minimize that impact. We can't, of course, things are going to always be, people are going to always overcharge, people are going to always try to gain. That's life, but we could take some responsibility and minimize the impact by educating ourselves on where we're planning to live, being smart. Talk to the locals, talk to people in Mexico. What are things supposed to be costing you? Be smart. Try to learn the language. We're still learning language, you know, but that's really important. So that's pretty much it.
We're gonna end it soon. But real quick, I want to say we were looking at something the other day, and it was in Brooklyn, or was it in Bushwick, Brooklyn?
I used to live there,
and that's a rough area. It used to be a rough area or whatever, and they have gentrified that, and they have coffee shops and all that stuff going on, and a lot of people saying they don't even recognize it over there anymore, and the bodega owners saying they are rude to the new people that's coming in. And I'm saying that to say this: you don't want to do that. You don't want to come over here like in San Miguel. They said in San Miguel that the foreigners are pushing out the locals. So you don't want people to be mad at you because you're coming over there pushing them out of their area. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because we're all for having a nice area. I mean, it's nice to have coffee shops. It's nice to have beautiful parks. We don't want an area to be run down. We're not saying that we want it to be run down.
No.
What we're saying is, like, let's all take care of it as a community. I've been to areas in Mexico where the community is very local. People pick up the trash. They're sweeping. They love their community. They're taking care of the community. But it's not overpriced. It doesn't. You know, that's what we're talking about. You know, having a nice community, but let's not try to make it into like this luxury lifestyle. Not saying that people don't like luxury things, meaning that you're just trying to create this type of like, I want to say like Hollywood type mentality, you know?
Yeah, don't just live a regular life. That's the only way to say it. But we going on something else, man. So we're gonna go ahead and end the video as we always do.
Live the life that you were meant to live, and keep a grateful heart.
And remember, why not now? All right, guys. Peace.